listening is, I mean, it's just as like, I mean, for anybody, like, doing, trying to do anything, listening is just as important as breathing, I would say. Like, I mean, the more you listen, the more you understand, the more you are able to do things. Like, I mean, your everything of, I mean, every action would depend on a certain understanding. And listening, like, your how you perceive audio is like, I mean, basically what goes on in your head when you listen to something. It's something that, it's very important. Like, I mean, it's just as important as sort of writing, speaking, your non-verbal communication. I think listening is just, it's because it's two-way, right? I mean, you can't be just talking about it. You need to take in ideas. You need to see how your ideas have been perceived. So for that, I think listening is a very important skill. So how can NGO founders develop good listening skills? Is first of all, like, taking a little bit from the non-verbal cues that I just spoke about. Respectfulness, open-mindedness, empathy, patience. So when you are listening to someone, make sure that you're not listening. You just don't show that you're listening, but you're actually listening. And don't listen with the intention of answering back. Uh, Listen with the intention of understanding. If you don't have, do not listen so that you sound smart. I mean, just to give an answer, understand it. Like, I mean, you may be a little slow, which is okay. You may want to write it down while you're listening and then go back home, think about it, and then come back later. I mean, that would make more sense rather than, just listening so that you can speak. I don't think, that anyway helps anyone. So make sure that you have all those, like, the softer aspects of empathy, patience, respectfulness while listening. Then maintain eye contact when you are making an interaction with someone. So what happens is, it really engages the other person. And because we are humans and we like to talk to people, we are like social by nature. So when we make eye contact, we are able to strike that particular a chord, a relationship, a very positive relationship with the opposite person. So maintain eye contact. I think that will be very helpful in, in like furthering your cause and furthering your communication and ensuring that there is a very smooth and easy relationship with whoever you are speaking with. Then avoid an impulse to ask questions and interrupt. I think that's a very essential part of listening. Like, it's a very essential part of improving listening skills. So many a times, what happens is, we, I mean, just to be recognized, or just to sort of make a point. I mean, uh, just so that someone can see you. I mean, you may or may not have like a very relevant point, but you are more often than not very, I mean, driven by that impulse to sort of interrupt, ask questions. So I think when you're listening, it's very important to just sit. I mean, you just think about what you want to talk and then talk. Like, I mean, don't just interrupt because you can. So just take that pause, take that. I mean, you don't have to be very quick. You can probably take your time, wait for the other person to finish, wait for the conversation to be maybe like over, and then reflect on it, and then go back to that person when you have actually thought about it. So I think that also helps, because that also gives you that time to do that homework and that thinking by yourself rather than asking a question, because at the end of the day you have to understand and perceive it your way. So I think that's an essential part of listening. Also, one thing that while you talk and when you are trying to build a good listening skills, always remember that your end goal should be like somehow to develop very good leadership skills. So uh, I mean, so for NGO founders, it's very important because they are going to talk to so many stakeholders. They have like so many people to interact with. So your listening skills should be very reflective of how good a leader you are, in terms of uh, like whose points. I mean, are you giving importance to I mean, uh, every person, like every stakeholder would deserve that attention from you. So how do you divide your attention? what points do you emphasize on, what do you choose to spend your time on. So I mean, when you listen, like how do you plan your next action point, and like how well you've jotted your points, like when someone of, like, say, a very low, a very important person has spoken to you, how well you've jotted the points, and how well you want to go about and actioning those points. So good leaders are always good listeners. So I think I think they learn a lot by listening, and listening is a very easy way of learning, because someone is already giving you the ideas. You just need to reflect on them and sort of think about them in your own, in your own way. So yes, always connect listening with leadership, and be very mindful that you should. I can't say come across, but you should. I mean, you should develop those leadership skills in a way that that listening skills are enhancing your leadership skills, basically. And last but not the least, I would say always summarize your understanding. So I think this is a very underrated skill, but always, like, I mean, an essential part of listening, just to sort of uh, understand that, okay, whatever you've understood is exactly what the other person wants to communicate to you. So just sort of whenever you are in the middle of a conversation, or you are about to end the conversation, and I think, and where you think that, okay, I have got all the information that I've needed, just take some minutes of, try to summarize that, so that you and the other person are exactly on the same page. And and if there are any gaps in the ideas, those can be, worked upon. So I think these are essentials of, I think in this age of social media, it's not necessary that you have to be like a master in, like, English language. It's a medium of communication. Like, I mean, today when you see the likes of Padma awardees, like, people who are getting Padma Shri awards in, like, different fields, like especially in the last 3-4 years that we have seen. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, can really pride themselves in, like, a very flawless grammar, English grammar, or any, or a good vocabulary. So no, I don't think that your English is extremely essential for NGO founders. I think what matters, I mean, the formal understanding of English language is essential. I don't think so. What matters is your experience, your awareness, your general knowledge, your effective use of mediums. Like, I mean, today, like, I think, like, I mean, if you know how to use your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, you may or you may not know English, but if you know, I mean, you could have your own audience in whichever language you want. But I think what really matters is that general awareness, that perspective, that actually comes with experience. But I think so to answer the question in very short, I don't think that a very formal understanding of English is essential. Yes, you need to have that basic knowledge of how things work. Say, for example, in corporate world, you cannot be very clueless as to what's going on when you meet someone from corporate. But I think if you are reasonably aware, I think that's always taken care of. I don't think anybody is just out of they just come out of nowhere and try. It's not like that. You have to have that basic awareness. You have to be good at reading whichever language. You have to like follow, I mean, news in terms of relevant to your topic, relevant to your cause. You need to know what's going on. But I don't think English is very essential. Uh, Effective communication is essential. Like, I mean, you need to, again, like, when I say effective communication, like, taking back from the cues of what we spoke about, like, your interpersonal skills, how you connect with people, how well you think about subjects, what how well you reflect on what can be done and what cannot be done, how well you think of action points, how clearly you're able to communicate the cause, and any problem statements. I think those are more, like, I mean, the emphasis should be there, rather than, like, just developing, like, very good speech writing or speaking skills. So I think problem solving is, it should be more of a focus that comes with experience and a little bit of I mean, you make mistakes and then you learn, and it's a part of the process. So yeah, so I don't think the language is important, but like there are some skills that are important, like problem solving, like being methodical, being a good communicator, connecting with people, general awareness, your general knowledge, experiences, effective use of media, like thinking about ideas a little bit more deeply, communicating about your ideas a little bit more deeply. It can be any language. So English is, yes, of course, it's the it's the language where a lot of people, like the corporate world, at least in India, is very. I mean, it focuses on English, but as long as you are very thorough with the other aspects, even if you are not like that great in your English language skills, I think